Hey, y'all doing? This is Preacher Man R&B, and this is another episode of Retro TV 91, and this time I'm reviewing Arrow Season 2, Episode 20. We'll have this on this week's episode of Arrow. In the flashback scenes, we get a flashback of Moira Queen, and when we find out that Oliver is a father. And he's gotten this girl pregnant. And it's not Laurel, and this girl's from Central City. Well, he tells Moira, and she calls the girl to come to her house, and she offers her $1 million, and she says she's gonna give her another $1 million whenever she tells Oliver that the baby had been miscarried, and when she moves back to Central City and doesn't ever see Oliver again. So this girl does this, and she calls Oliver, and Oliver shrugs it off like he doesn't care, but you can tell that he cares that the baby died. And that's all that really happened on the flashback scenes. What's happening in present day, Oliver's trying to find Roy because Roy has done woken up and he's full on Mirakuru. He doesn't have control of his body and he's gone crazy. And he's trying to find Thea, and he's going throughout the city and attacking people, and he attacks these three guys, and then the Green Arrow, who's Oliver, is trying to track him down, but every time Oliver gets close, Roy gets away. And Roy goes and meets up with Sin, and Sin's trying to talk to him, and he's still in Mirakuru rage right now. And these two security guards come and put his hand on Roy's shoulder, and Roy throws this guy into the car and then backhands Sin and runs off. Well, after this, Roy goes to the clock tower, and Sin calls Sarah and tells her that Roy's there, and Sarah and Oliver go as Black Canary and Green Arrow, and they have a fight with Roy, and Roy gets away and dislocates Oliver's knee, I think, either dislocates it or breaks it, one of the two, and then runs out, and the cops stop him, and when the cops trying to arrest him, he severely injures one and kills the other, and then runs off. Well, toward the end of the episode, Moira Queen is going to get out of the race, but she decides not to because all the defensives stay in. And after this, Thea goes up and gives a message to Roy, a secret message, that way he knows where she is. And before this, Roy gets his vision of Thea inside his head, like Slade does with Shadow, saying that Roy should kill Thea, so that's what Roy's going to do. And he goes to the club and he attacks Diggle and knocks him out and is about to kill Thea. And then Sarah comes and shoots him in the knee and is about to kill him, but Oliver shoots him up with Pit Viper arrows and knocks him out. And they have him sedated now. And they're still trying to find the cure. Star Labs just hasn't found the cure yet. And after this, Oliver, Thea, and Moira is riding back to their house, and Slade runs into their limousine and captures them and makes Oliver choose, like Oliver had to choose with Shadow and Sarah. And he tells him he's not going to choose, and Moira gets up and sacrifices herself for her children, and Slade kills Moira. That's really all that happened was for this episode. My question for y'all is, now that Moira's dead, how is that going to affect Oliver and Thea? As always, Preacher Man R&B signing out. Guys, Juju is awesome. Another episode of Retro TV 91. See y'all next time.